Ladies and gentlemen, I am doing this video because of the situation that's going on in my own family. Now, my brother was checked for lung cancer. He does not have lung cancer. He has a bad heart. Part of what the Most High has given us are dietary laws that we were supposed to follow. And I remember all throughout history, especially during chattel slavery, we were given the worst type of food, and we were given pork. And trust me, this enemy knew we were never, ever supposed to touch a filthy animal like a pig. It was forbidden. You were not supposed to do it. Eating pig was considered an abomination. Pigs have a purpose on this earth, and their purpose is to keep the earth clean. Okay, we didn't have trash dumps and all this stuff that you see now. It was no need to have that because you had animals that actually did all of the cleanup for you. It was all natural. And that's what it never should have changed from that, period. But see, in this world, things like shrimps and crabs, scallops. See, those animals clean the ocean. That's what they're there for. You're going to have animals that do things in the ocean that has to be cleaned up. If you are now disrupting that ecosystem, then how is your oceans going to really truly be clean? They're not. They're not. The oceans in this world are so polluted and been tampered with so much. It's literally not clean. The Most High told us to treat our bodies as a temple. And part of doing that is using the herbs and the fruit and the seeds for nourishment. We ate to keep our bodies nourished. We weren't gluttons and things like that. That stuff didn't come until we came around Gentiles. Now, when you go out here, the sad part is jumping to this generation, so many bad eating habits have been passed down that originated from slavery. Chitlins and pig feet and all that stuff, that all came from slavery. And our people continue to eat that stuff. And in fact, I was in a meat market around the corner from where I live, and I was just looking to get, some chicken, and I bought some prime rib and a few other things. And I noticed the buckets and buckets and buckets of chitlins in there. And I just could look at it and nod my head, big buckets of chitlins. And I remember people cooking that and you could smell it, 'cause, stuff used to make your whole house smell when it was cooked. And when I grew up in the inner city in Philadelphia, I remember walking past houses and you could smell the chitlins being cooked. And the sad part is the kids used to, "Oh, I can't wait to eat. We're having chitlins," Ooh, that's terrible, y'all. That's terrible. It's some of the worst abominations ever. But Leviticus 11 in the King James Bible goes over all of the things that we are allowed to eat. Now, we have to make sure that we don't eat things that the Most High say are not good for us. There's a reason why our people are walking around with heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, because we are not following the dietary laws that were pure. These are pure dietary laws. They're just not any dietary law. And this is why the Most High distinguishes the clean from the unclean beast of the earth. So if you're going to eat any type of meat, you need to get it from a clean animal. So he spoke unto the children of Israel, saying, These are the beasts which ye shall eat among all beasts that are on the earth. Whosoever parteth the hoof and is cloven footed and cheweth the cud, and that's grass, chew grass among the beasts that ye shall eat. So we can eat anything that chews on the cud. Now, what animals do we see? We see sheep, we see cows, okay? Anything that eats vegetation, those are considered your clean animals. Now, there are some animals that do chew the cud, but they don't have a divided hoof, and that's like your camel. You can't eat a camel. You can't have that. Okay? So he gets into what's we can have from the sea. So from the sea, you must eat a fish that has fins and scales. Okay, fins and scales. These shall ye eat of all that are in the water. Whosoever have fins and scales in the waters, in the seas and in the rivers, them shall ye eat. Now, so you can't have anything like bluefish because it has no scales. You cannot have catfish. Catfish do not have scales. I had an uncle that loved catfish. But when I look back, that fish is unclean. It's an unclean fish. And plus, that's a scavenger fish. That fish is in the ocean, the ones that don't have scales, are in the ocean to keep it clean. So you don't want to eat any type of scavenger type of fish. So if it does not have scales, remember, it's an abomination for you to even eat or consider eating those type of things. So you don't want to commit those abominations. So now you have the fowls. So now it tells you specifically, and these are they which ye shall have in abomination among the fowls. They shall not be eaten. They are an abomination. You can't eat an eagle or an osprey or ossifrage. Those are birds that you should not eat at all. Okay? You should not eat a vulture, a kite. You should not eat a raven. You should not eat owls. Okay? So he tells you, swans and pelicans and herons and lapwings, those are things you cannot have. He spells out exactly what we can't have. Now, we can't have the flying, creeping things, bugs. Like there are certain things you can have. Now, you can eat a locust, you know, but you can't just pick up a random spider and start chowing down on them. No, you know, you can't have things like ferrets, chameleons, lizards, snails, moles. Those things are considered an abomination. They're unclean. Okay. If you found like a mouse, in fact, I watched a video on YouTube of a man somewhere down in South America, and it shows him picking a mouse up. in his house and eating it, just a live mouse and eating it, that's an abomination. You're not supposed to eat weasels and possums and all that stuff. You cannot eat those things. You are not to eat anything that's dead. So let's say you found food, some type of dead animal, one that was already dead. When you came upon it, you can't eat that. Okay, that's considered an abomination. Um, Also, there was something else in here. A chameleon, a ferret, a lizard. So I did go over that. You can't have that. That's unclean. But it's very specific about, eating carcasses and seeds and what's clean, what's unclean. And I was also reading about how there are certain fabrics that we are supposed to wear on our skin that we don't wear. A lot of the fabrics that we see out here are blended fabrics. It's blended of nylon, polyester, and all these other things that we really shouldn't be wearing on our body. When you don't wear things like linen and cotton, which is recommended in the Bible, your skin is not going to slough off, the top layer properly. Our skin is supposed to renew itself constantly, and the clothing that we wear is supposed to help in that process. But when you wear like blended fabrics, then you're kind of messing up the process of our skin sloughing off and then that new layer of skin coming in. It's happening constantly, but we don't notice it's happening because a lot of times we are not wearing the proper clothes. So there are a lot of abominations that are going on, not only here in America, but around the world. And as we know, America's diet is probably one of the worst on the entire earth. You can't turn the corner and drive a mile without seeing fast food joints all over the place. Yeah, they may be convenient, as far as getting food, but it's not the best food for your bodies. I think it's time that we, if you haven't, stop bad eating habits to start turning back to what the Most High say we can and cannot have. There's a reason for this. Number one, eating the proper diet for our bodies is going to keep us healthy. Okay. Eating the Gentiles' diet is going to kill us, period. And they know it's going to kill us. That's why there's a million fast food restaurants all around the Black neighborhood because they know this shit is going to kill us, y'all. They know it. And they know we're going to have health problems from it. So if you haven't gardened, I garden every year. Please consider it. Please consider if you can afford it to eat organic. Or if you get away from meat, try to get the fruits and vegetables that are organic. Remember, the fruit is to nourish us, the fruits and vegetables. The seeds in the fruit is like medicine. Oh, boy. I am right now, I'm with a heavy heart. My brother is my only sibling, y'all. And, all I can do is tell him to do better. He's one of those people, sometimes he listens, sometimes he just want to do what he wants, stubborn. But now that we are in the last days, let's all try to do better. And let's all turn back to the chapters in the Bible that tells us how we should be eating on this earth. Just because we're stuck in this Gentile world, it does not mean we have to conform to their ways, and we shouldn't. I'm I'm going to cut out of here because I'm not going to lie to you. I'm on the verge of crying right now. But please leave your comments and subscribe. And don't forget to hit on that notification bell. And if you can join me over on Black Junction TV, please do. And also join me over on blackspot.com. Peace, family.